So I just finished watching a documentary about J.D. Salinger, and he was the author of Catcher in the Rye. I've never read Catcher in the Rye, but Holden Caulfield is the main character, and he's been in my life for many years because when I used to audition for acting roles, I used to do a monologue from 6 Degrees of Separation, and the monologue was about Holden Caulfield. Adding to that, I would hear about how J.D. Salinger was this recluse. And CBS Sunday Morning ran a story about J.D. Salinger about 3 months ago, I guess because this documentary was coming out. And I saw a picture of him when he was a young man. Hot. He was very hot. And so, anyways, but just I was just fascinated by this idea that he was a recluse. So I just finished watching the documentary. I ordered Catcher in the Rye today. I'm making this video today, but I'm waiting to receive the book to read it and have something to say about it because in the documentary, uh, there were three murders that were committed in the early 1980s, and the three murderers claimed that their justification for their crimes could be connected to Catcher in the Rye and Holden Caulfield. And you know, one of them was the guy that murdered John Lennon. The other one was the guy who tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan, and I can't remember the third. But I'm really interested. I know that I think James Dean was fascinated with Holden Caulfield. I'm not sure about that, but I'm making this entry today. I'm also going to look for short stories by J.D. Salinger. People and their dogs. I come from a time when pets were not allowed in banks, they were not allowed in restaurants, and I'm kind of nostalgic for that time because, listen, I grew up with dogs and I love me some animals, but I think that because there are people that don't know how to behave with them, they shouldn't be allowed in places. Case one, if you bring your Great Dane into Whole Foods, you're not allowed to park in the middle of the aisle and talk to somebody and block traffic. If you bring your toy animal into Starbucks or outside of Starbucks, just because he's a little cute dog with gold painted nails, he's not allowed to sit on the table. Not allowed. Okay. And last but certainly not least, those of you that like to walk your dog without a leash, okay, that's fine if it's a trained animal, but if it's one of those rambunctious animals and you're running and the animal jumps on you, you're not allowed to do that. Do you hear me? You're not allowed to do that. I have a lesbian crush and her name is Fortune Feimster. For those of you who don't know who she is, where the fuck have you been? This is a picture of her. She is one of the comedians on Chelsea Lately, and I'm a huge fan of the show. I'm a huge fan of Chelsea, and in fact, about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years, I don't remember. I used to do this on a blog, and GQ or one of those magazines published an article about the landscape of late night television when the whole Conan debacle happened, and they didn't even mention Chelsea, and I was like, what? But anyways, I lived in LA for a while, and for a little bit, and I lived in Hollywood, and you actually do see celebrities in Los Angeles. I saw Zach Braff, David Schwimmer, and I'm talking like supermarket movies, like normal things. I lived down the street from this coffee shop called Solar de Cahuenga, and I saw Jennifer Goodwin there, and I saw more people, but the culture in LA is leave them alone, unless it's someone like Justin Bieber that it's have at him. But I did. I didn't even go up to them because they're in their private lives and they should be left alone. But I did fangirl twice in Los Angeles. Once when I was at the Starbucks in West Hollywood on Santa Monica and I saw Guy Branum, who used to be a comedian on Chelsea Handler. What happened? He's not there anymore. And I also fangirled for Sassy Gay Friend. If you guys haven't seen that on YouTube, shame on you. You need to see that. But Fortune, if I saw you in Los Angeles, I would fangirl for you.